Sporting Kansas City. They finished last season bottom of the Western Conference. 28 points, 7 wins, 20 losses, 7 draws. Their head coach, major change. Peter Vermees, longtime legendary coach in the MLS, longtime coach of Sporting Kansas City, is gone. They
Mhm.
have they have finally decided to part ways. They have found their man, unlike Montreal. They have found their man with Raphael Wicki coming over from Young Boys. I'm very excited to see him back in this league. He last coached with Chicago Fire in MLS before going on to Young Boys. Their top goal scorers last season, there's only one name, and it's another former Galaxy player, which I miss so much. The chess master, Dejan Joveljic, score. Did I say Dejan? Dejan. My bad. Dejan Joveljic, 17 goals last season, and he literally is the only person because the next person up had like 4 goals. And he was the one bright spot for them. They went out, they got him, and he did what he wanted, or he did what they wanted him to do. This is their second straight season missing the postseason. They were a team that conceded a lot of goals, conceded 63 last season. A lot of those goals were late. They had no trouble taking the lead early on, but they lost so many games last season, or gave away so many points by allowing late goals 80th minute on. And that's something they definitely need to work on. And before I let Christian take over here, no major additions to this team so far. At least on my end, I don't know if Christian picked up on someone that I didn't. They just cut a lot of guys. They are trimming fat like they are in a butcher shop. So it's going to be interesting to see how this team retools heading into this season, which is just a month away at this point. Christian, talk to us about Sporting Kansas City.
Yeah. As you stated, they missed the playoffs consecutively, and this is the first time in nearly 15 years. Peter Vermees is out of the head coaching spot after 20 plus years in association with the club.
That's crazy.
This is a complete overhaul, right? We're looking
Yeah.
at a club that is done with mediocrity because when's the last time we really saw them super competitive? I think they're ready to just restart, right?
They
Um,
always felt like that team every single season that we watched them, where they were like middle of the table, or
mhm,
they'd be anywhere from third in the Western Conference to down in like seventh, eighth. It
mhm.
always felt like they were just teetering back and forth like that.
And like you said, Raphael Wicki coming in to coach from Young Boys. I think it was within the last 24 hours they've fully released their new staff. They do have an assistant coming over from Spain with Premier League experience, so that could
Okay.
be good for them. Um, like you said, Joveljic, 18 goals. Outside of that, no one in double digits. They saw a lot of inconsistency from defense and goalkeeper. Is that going to change? I don't know because they stuck with a lot of the same guys and got rid of the guys that were there.
Yeah, this is a team, especially Christian. We should. I mean, this is kind of off topic a little. It's not off topic, but I know it's got nothing to do with the team itself and how they can get better. This is one of the stadiums we should go to this year, Christian. Like, I think we should make the drive and see a Sporting Kansas City game, whether Cincinnati's in town or Galaxy are in town. Like, I think that'd be really cool to go see them.
Yeah, I mean, it would be interesting because I mean we're talking about like you said a brand new team. Like you said earlier, the clubs declined 13 plus player contracts, including guys like Mason Toy and Eric Tome. You know, I
Eric
don't know.
Tommy is like, that one shocked me that
I
they
mean,
let him go.
yeah, I mean he was kind of a center point of their creativity. I feel. Um, I don't know if my numbers are exactly here, but are correct here. But what I see is 12 players on contract. So they definitely
Currently,
got to do. I mean, whether that be calling up homegrowns or making small signings here and there, they got to do something here.
yeah, I'm literally gonna look that up right now. Current players. See, it's still even on Google. It still has Eric Tomey as a current player. I think they still have Kiri Shelton around. I think that's a player they still have. They do have Stefan Cleveland, I believe, unless he went somewhere else. He'll be a backup, obviously, to John Pulskamp and Christian. With the conversations we've had, I know you're going to go into it with your X Factor, so I don't know if you want to talk about it too much. But you're a fan of Pulskamp. Like, you think this is a guy who could help solidify this back line. Obviously, this is a team that's got to figure out how to stop conceding so many goals, especially when you have Joveljic, someone who can contribute good goal contributions. But the thing with Joveljic is he's the type of player that even when I was watching him at Galaxy, he doesn't a lot of times create his own shot. He needs that ball in to really succeed. And I'm just sitting here looking at this team. Who's going to deliver that ball into him? Where's that creativity going to come from? Because a lot of Joveljic's success with the Galaxy was on Ricky Puig and his ability to feed the ball in. Last season, obviously, he had 17 goals, which is great. I want to see who's going to be the person feeding him this year for those assists.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, I know we're coming up on the wire here, but I think there has to be some kind of move made by Kansas City. They got to have at least enough guys to fill out the reserves. Yeah. But right now, it's just a big question mark, I feel. And I see a lot of Kansas City fans wondering the same thing, like, what are we doing? You know, like we got to we got to do something, right? Because right now you've trimmed down the roster so low, and there's got to be guys that replace. I think there's got to be a couple homegrown guys come in. I think that their second team down in USL performs decently, and I think that they'll probably get a couple of those guys in there.
All right, Christian. I don't want to like cut our time short with Sporting Kansas City, but like you said, the fans themselves are wondering like what's next. It doesn't give us podcasters much to talk about when you haven't done anything. Like we've talked about the fact that you trim fat. You brought in Raphael Wicke, who just touch base on him, Christian. Are you expecting good things from Wicke going into this year? Because like I do think this is a manager and what he brings to the team. I'm excited about the idea of bringing Wicke in, and I do think he's the type of manager who could turn this club around.
I mean, I think he has the ability to do it, but you got to give him the guys around you got to give him the tools, right? Right now, I don't feel like he has those tools, but there's still time to fix that.
All right, my key to success for Sporting Kansas City. It's easy, guys. Solidify the back line and find consistency. You gave away 63 goals last season. Can't do that and expect success in this league. So it's very baseline, not much thought going into it. Solidify that back line. And much like I was saying with Montreal, you need to find some consistency to take that step forward.
Mm-hmm. My 3 X factors for Sporting Kansas City going into this season. Number one, I think the number one X factor is Dejan Joveljic's ceiling as the guy, right? I think my X factor angle here is if he gets consistent service, like you said, ball in, and he can stay healthy, another big question mark with him. I think 20-plus goals is realistic in a season for him. I think if the team isolates him again, SKC fails to add creators around him, his output could stagnate. I think the entire attacking credibility runs through him. Number 2, this is another big one, mid-season window aggression. Why this matters, SKC likely won't be complete on opening day, like we said. My angle here is smart summer signings could flip SKC from a bottom third to a playoff push. I think a passive approach will equal another lost season. I think the front office decisiveness here matters just as much as coaching. To answer your question earlier. Let's go to number 3. John Poolskamp's jump to upper tier MLS goalkeeper. I think that's a huge X factor for them. Like we said, defense looked lost. But why this matters, Poolskamp faced heavy shot volume in 2025 and showed flashes of high-end shot stopping. I think if he becomes plus 5 goals saved above expected keeper, SKC will steal points. If he plateaus, the defense issues are going to get magnified. An elite keeper can mask rebuilds. Average ones are going to expose them.
Bars. I don't think there's much. Usually I ask a question. I think Christian has answered everything that there is to answer about Sporting Kansas City. So I'm just going to ask you fans, what are your expectations for SKC heading into the 2026 season? If you're a supporter of the club, let us know down below why you think you will be more successful heading into 2026. What players are you excited to watch develop? Maybe tell us about a homegrown that's coming out that we aren't familiar with too much.